Trail day number 5. Evan and I are starting the day out right. Called a shuttle from Stehekin. We're stopping by this bakery on the way to the trail, which has phenomenal looking and smelling food. We're very excited to get a decent breakfast before hiking for the day. Some real breakfast today. About a little over 8 miles in today. Evan and I are working hard to stay hydrated and cool. It's, I think, like 90 some degrees out. We are in the shade a little bit, but it's still really hot. There's some moments where we're in the sun. So we've been taking frequent stops to filter cold water. And then a ranger told Evan about soaking your hat in cold water in a stream when you have a chance and wearing it. Seems like a really good idea. It feels great right now. Another cute little woodland throne. There's actually a deer right behind it here who's about to watch me take a deuce. Hello? This is a very awesome situation here. 2 different species of tree, maybe a spruce and a pine, both giants, have fused together. Kind of like a symbiotic relationship. We avoided this ford. There's apparently a bridge here at one point that washed out. Now there's these conveniently placed blowdowns. The first one's a pretty big tree. This one's a little bit more narrow, but it gets you across. So we just ran into another trail maintenance crew, and it was very impressive. They're using a big 2-sided handsaw to cut through all these blowdowns, which is really amazing because I think I ran into trail maintenance crews before in a lot of areas. They have chainsaws. They might bring them in by horse, or there's access by forestry roads, but this is a true wilderness area and forestry roads. They hike everything in. And the crazy part is that, once again, they have to use only hand tools because there's different designations, from what I understand, at least what they told us. There's wilderness areas, there's recreation areas, I think all under the umbrella of kind of like the Park Service or something. But wilderness areas, you can't use any small gas engines. So no chainsaws. And we've seen literally, hundreds, probably going on thousands of blowdowns. So they have pretty big crews. I think there was 6 or 8 in that group. But this tells us we should never take anything for granted, because every single one of these solid trees we see on the side of the trail took a lot of time and effort to clear and to keep this trail maintained for hikers like us. Pretty cool. We just stumbled into some really beautiful, incredible mountain valley. We are, Evan and I are staring down our last climb of the day. Woo! The things aren't getting in the way. So we're back in this cool little caldera in the mountains. So you can see where we're gonna climb. There's the trail. Wrapping up. And we'll be going up over Cloudy Pass back in there. Pretty amazing today. Found a way through this giant boulder field below the mountain. I'm sure this required some serious work on the part of the trail crew that built this. This was nice of someone so that the moment didn't go lost. 100 miles in. Heading that way. Just came to this really wild area with all these blowdowns. Well, I guess maybe knockdowns in this stretch of woods that goes the whole way up towards that peak. I imagine this must have been like some sort of avalanche or rock slide, probably an avalanche, honestly. But it just took everything out. Here we have fallen giants. These trees are just enormous. There's a few different groves we passed through today with 10-foot diameter trees. And you probably can't tell how big they are, but I've never been into stands of trees this big. Pretty amazing. Good morning, it's July 25th. I believe it's our 6th day on the trail. We got in pretty late last night, a little bit after 8 p.m., so there was no closing video for the day. Today we have another 24 miles planned. Really similar kind of hiking, I'll say schematic as far as elevation goes to yesterday. We're making one big climb and one big descent. We're definitely expecting some snow today. I think we're going to be near where Glacier Peak is, which we're not going to necessarily climb, but we're going to be going near a pass around that area that I think has quite a bit of snow. So we'll see what we get later on. Gonna be another hot one. Hopefully we can get some miles in this morning before it gets too warm. We'll stop to get ourselves some water. Get hydrated for this morning before we get going. Probably regret saying this, but the trail's been pretty pleasant to walk on this morning. Lots of little pine cones and needles, making it very soft and cushioned. Didn't often have that on the AT. About to do some snow climbing. Crossing the Swallow River. Thank God there's a bridge. I don't think this would be happening otherwise. Lots of blowdowns today. Definitely slowing us up quite a bit. See, now that should have only been about 50 feet of trail. Instead, it was all that. Just had a very late afternoon lunch with a beautiful view. We met 4 other southbounders. Sounds like we're all going to the same place for camp tonight, so probably have a chance to talk with them a little bit more, but they did tell us that our friend from Texas is still out here, so we're excited to hear that. Maybe we'll see him again soon. This is the view from my tent as it's getting dark. It was a tough day. We did about 25 miles. Every mile was hard today. Either there was snow and ice on the trail was overgrown and eroded, or there were many blowdowns in front of us that required all sorts of maneuvering to get around. So no easy trail mile today. But still, nonetheless, it was completely worth it. Beautiful views, an amazing place. We're really isolated and away from things out here. It makes it very special. We also, at the end of the day, compared to some of the previous days, I think felt a little bit better. So I know we're getting a little bit stronger, and we're looking forward to the next couple of days. Good morning. Day 7 of our southbound through hike. We have a very long, snowy journey ahead of us today. We were told that there's about 30 miles worth of area where there's a lot of snow. So we're going to work our way through that today. Hopefully get in another 25. It's going to be very warm. Snow will be melting off, so we'll have wet feet. This morning, Evan's starting out with a blister care regimen. But otherwise, we're in good spirits and ready to get out there. Good morning, it's about 9 a.m. Partway up the first climb of the day to Fire Creek Pass, which we've been warned has a lot of snow and is a little hairy. But on a good note, we've been running into a lot more NOBOs, northbounders, some of which are actually finishing up the whole trail for the season. Others which started around, a lot of people start around Tahoe and do a flip-flop hike. So hike from Tahoe north, fly back, or get back to Tahoe, go south from there. But the one northbounder, traditional northbounder we ran into, told us that after the next 2 passes, it's relatively freewheeling. So less spicy snow traverses. Getting incredible views already on our climb this morning. This is such a cool thing here. This is called Michael Lake. It's completely covered in snow still. Probably about elevation 50, well, about 6,000 I believe. You can see little pools here where the water's starting to come through, and it is just starkly blue. Exactly like blue Gatorade. magnificent view of the Cascades. 360 degrees. Snow covered in places still. Well worth the climb. So Evan and I are both geared up with our micro spikes today. And it's making the job much easier through this firm snow. Otherwise, you have to use your soft trail runners to try to kick an edge to prevent yourself from slipping. These make it much easier. Got a good campsite tonight.
Good morning, it's the 27th, our 8th day of hiking, and we're waking up with views of Glacier Peak this morning. We're hoping that today is the last full day of hiking before we go into town tomorrow for resupply and potentially an overnight stay in a motel to get a shower.
So it's Wednesday, July 27th, day 8 of our hike. We just finished the climb up the Red Pass this morning in some snow. We are in hopeful anticipation that we won't have a whole lot more snow to deal with. No northbounders have confirmed that for us. So yes, it's very exciting. I just got the first little bit of cell service in our, technically we've been out here 9 days, in 9 days of hiking. I guess we did have a chance when we were in town at Stehekin to send out some texts with Wi-Fi. Whether those went through to everyone or not, I'm not sure, but I don't know that everyone has Wi-Fi texting calling enabled, but yeah, I did get one text out to Mom. And hopefully you can relay that we're all good out here. So happy we were able to do that. We should be in town tomorrow to take a rest, clean up, get some showers, get some real meals. We have incredible views as always right now. I'll show you. You can actually see Rainier, Mount Rainier, off in the distance, which is just the east of Seattle, and we will be skirting the edge of it towards the end of our trek through Washington State. Rainier's a tiny little speck out there, probably on the phone, but to us it looks enormous. Sported this bad boy. Pretty damn strong. We've crossed a few broken bridges today. This one is not broken. It's near a raging waterfall. And I can tell why it's not broken. Actually, it's steel beams below it, which whenever I see something like that out here, I have no idea how they got it here. It almost had to have been by helicopter. It's pretty amazing. Found a rest spot to relax while waiting for Evan. We're shooting for a big day today. hopefully 29 miles so that we can leave a short day in town tomorrow. It's a really pretty little mountain pass. I've got my shirt over there on my trekking poles, just kind of flopping around in the breeze to dry. I am just out of the sun where I can stay in the shade and keep my body temperature down a little bit. Yeah, today has been much better compared to the past three full days in the Glacier Peak Wilderness. So very happy for that. We actually met a few people who were trying to go north through the Glacier Peak Wilderness and said that this was already some of the harder stuff they've done, and we warned them that there's a lot harder terrain to come. Tons of blowdowns, big streams to ford, so we feel very blessed and fortunate to have come through quickly and safely. Got a pretty spot for a light lunch today. This is called Lake Sally Ann. Still really cold. Put my feet in and clean them off, but not quite swimming level yet. Now, if this isn't just the darn coolest location for a privy. A poop with a view. So our day has come to a close. We got a little over 25 miles in today. We have 16 left tomorrow to Stevens Pass. We're hoping for a few less so we could get into camp a little bit earlier, or get into town a little bit earlier and enjoy the day. But that's all right. We're gonna get up nice and early. Hopefully get walking at 5 a.m. It actually gets light at 4:30 a.m. here. So we'll be walking in the light, so that's not so bad. Good morning. It's July 28th, about 5:45 a.m. We got our earliest start yet this morning. Started hiking shortly after 5 a.m. Hoping to get into town early. Kind of woke up, just a little bit of sunlight, just enough to get packed up. But honestly, it's been really nice and refreshing to be hiking and see the sun come up. And these blazing hot days have been tough on us. So this cool start's really nice. But we passed over Grizzly Peak this morning, just a little bit ago. We're seeing the sun rise over the mountains. We can see Glacier Peak in the distance. Doesn't get much better than this. Good morning, buddy boy. This beautiful lake is actually called Lake Valhalla, which I really like. Very Nordic. So just some reflections as we finish up this last section, Glacier Peak Wilderness. It was really hard, really hard. There was a lot of snow, steep climbs, combination of the two, inclined, icy, snowy patches that we need spikes for, enormous down trees that came frequently, very overgrown, eroded sections of trail. Basically, all of these combined to make it a pretty difficult 4.5 days. It's very hot, Evan reminded me. Very hot. So, kind of combination of all elements means some of the most challenging hiking that I think either of us have ever done. So we're less than half a mile from the ski lodge now. Evan pointed out like a couple days ago at some point, we didn't even have any no cell service, except for a tiny little moment on top of a very big ridge where I texted mom. Prior to that, we had to pay for a limited Wi-Fi service when we were in Stehekin. And then before that, the whole way to Hearts Pass, the Canadian border, no cell service either. So just a really cool period of time. I mean, I don't even know on the AT if we ever went that far without cell service. I don't think we ever did. Cool period of time, completely disconnected from the outside world, any distractions. You know, we know no news, no current events whatsoever. And we were just surrounded and immersed in massive, massive wilderness, unforgiving wilderness, huge mountains, enormous trees. And getting back to the point that Evan made, it just reminds you of how small you really are in the grand scheme of things. How unbelievably powerful and amazing and huge creation really is. But at the same time, we were having that conversation, we also said that one of the most maybe ironic, crazy things about that is that you see this insanely huge, seemingly untouchable world around you when you get yourself into places like this. But in a crazy way, our actions as tiny little human beings, they have an effect. So a ripple effect, you know, you have to keep it in mind. Like, you don't realize it in the moment, but our actions as human beings have touched this massive, seemingly, again, untouchable nature that seems to function beyond our control. And it's just something to remember. Any little thing you do has a branching effect that can affect it. So that, yeah, I'd say that's a good takeaway from our first stretch. Hello, civilization. This is Stevens Pass. I've heard about this only because a friend Jacob from dental school comes here. I think people from Seattle come here to ski sometimes. First real food for a while. You can pretty much see the entire town of Skykomish right here. Not much to it, but this is the perfect kind of trail town. Ones we like. You can walk to everything. Nice and simple. They also have this super cool miniature track here. I don't know if there's I don't know what scale this is. Mike would know. I don't know if it's running right now or not, but it's pretty awesome.
Just looking at the trail register here at the post office, and someone else is from York, Pennsylvania. But this was last year. Their name was Grindledorf.
Not much happening in the little town of Skykomish until now. Trains carrying some remains. We just got checked into our motel room for the night at the Cascadia Inn. Kind of old school, but we really like it and it's quiet. I think we got lucky and got checked in a little bit earlier than the other hikers. So the problem you run into when you do these things is that we stink to high hell. And we would like to have a clean, relatively smellless bedroom. So we have shower access. We can't linger too long in our bedroom or else it will stink forever. So we are going to go get our showers now and take all of our hiking soiled clothing with us and do like a partial launder in the shower with hopes that we can use a laundromat later. We've got this motel room looking like true hiker trash land. We've got, well, first of all, it doesn't smell great in here. We have our hanging laundry that we laundered in the shower.
Evan's over here repairing blisters with his med kit. We've got food scattered all about. I'm experimenting with a cold soak meal right here. What it's all about. And then, forgot about this, our massive charging station.